All right. Potential shift here. It is Saturday, December 13th. Protect first, profit second. Today we're going to be talking about edges. All right. What is your edge? Do you have one? Does anyone have one? Any retail trader? Do we have an edge? I don't know. I really don't. Sometimes I doubt it. But we soldier on and we trade. That's what we do. So, what's an edge? What's an edge? An edge is something that if you took away your charts, if you took away YouTube, take away X and Twitter and CNBC, all that stuff, all that jazz, what's left? What's left up here? All right. What is your inherent ability to do something better than most market participants? Something that you do better, an area where you excel. All right. That is your edge. And let's be serious, most traders do not have an edge. They are scrolling through X, they're listening to CNBC, they're trying to get a tip, they're listening to other people instead of trusting what's up here. And why won't it work? It won't work because if your process, if your decisions, if your trades look like every other trader, your results are going to be like every other trader. And honestly, you don't want your results to look like every other trader, right? Because let's be serious, most traders' results are train wreck. So, what's my edge personally? And I don't say this to boast. I don't say it to, I figured it out. Here's the secret. Just the opposite, honestly. I want to say there is no secret, all right? So I say this to help and to show what real trading looks like. Not any hocus pocus, not any BS, not any magic formula. So, I think one of my first edges is just that, a focus on what's real and what's not real. Stuff like this, all right? Trying to hone my edge, real edges, not looking for a hot stock, not looking for the sector, the nuclear play or the quantum or the oil play. No. I trade MES exclusively, which means I'm trading SPY, which means I'm trading the broader market. That's it. I focus on one thing, broad, large market moves. So that's one edge. I focus on one instrument, one area. Second edge would be I'm patient, not as patient as I would want to be, but I can sit out a day or two or three if conditions are unfavorable. And that's a big one. Most traders do not have patience. It's a big trip up. So again, if you want to be like most traders, be impatient, make a play every 5 minutes. Your results are going to look like most people. All right. What else do? I gauge my emotions. All right. Every day before I sit down and I trade, I think, how do I feel? How do I feel? What's going on in my life? Am I stressed? Am I tilting? Did I have a bad trade earlier? And if the answer is, I don't feel right, I don't feel good, I'm jumpy, maybe I made a really good trade and I'm super confident and I'm pumped, I do my best to walk away if I don't feel even. So I gauge my emotions. Notice that these are really risk management skills. Risk management is the game, not predictions. Prediction helps, that's 20% of the game. But 80% of the game, the meat and potatoes of trading and day trading, is managing risks. And managing risks means managing your emotions if you're a human. Emotions play a big part in risk management. Always be looking inward. How do I feel? Am I actually in a good state to trade? But I also do try to do some predictions. Pretty good at being able to tell when it's an algo-driven market versus a human-driven market. 90% of the time, the market is being run by algos, and they're going to whipsaw you. They're going to go up and down. Occasionally, after a big catalyst or whatever, if there's panic in the market, human trading will take over. When humans are trading and not the algos, when human trading is predominant, that's a prime time to make money. So being able to identify when human trading is occurring, that's a nice skill to have. But like I said, 90% of the time, it's algo driven. So I do make an effort to predict what the algos want to do since they're so dominant. The main thing the algos want to do is inflict pain on retail traders. That's their thing. That's why there's something called the pain trade. And that means whatever's going to hurt the most people is what's most likely to happen. That is the algo's game. You have to be aware of that, conscious of it. What is the pain trade today? What helps the algos win? How can the algos extract money from guys like me? You should be thinking about that, because a lot of the time, the answer to that question is what's going to happen in markets. And there's also a lot of things I'm working on. I've been trading for 10 years now. But even after all this time, I'm working on my setups, working on my timing, I'm working on my tilting. These are efforts that never stop, all right? So, yeah, there's always something to get better at, all right? There's always something to work on. So, what's your edge? What do you do better than most people? I hope it's not scrolling through Twitter. If you do that better than most people, you're in trouble. You got to figure it out. You have to define what the edge is, write it down, hone it into a weapon, because you're going to need it, because markets take no prisoners. All right? All right, potential shift here, guys. Don't go broke.